All right. We are live.
Let's
Yeah.
go,
We're back.
baby.
Back and better than
Let's
ever.
go.
New year, new business. Let's get after it.
All right. Well, we
All
took a little
right,
bit of
all
time
right, all
off.
right.
We took a little bit of time off for the holidays. Did some traveling and was out of town for a little bit. All of us were having a good New Year. Had a good Christmas. Hopefully, you guys have a good Christmas.
That is
I have a
right.
good
That is right.
Christmas.
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Got some new stuff for the pod. Got a new camera, new headphones. I'm starting to look a little more legit. So
There you go.
yeah, I got a little highlight on me now with the adjustable, shadow thing. That's kind of cool. Makes me look a little better. Kind of like a filter.
Yeah,
So
go from like a 3.5 to a 4.7.
yeah, I mean 4.7 might be generous with how I'm looking now. So I appreciate it. Thank you. But, 2024 is the year I get back in shape. We don't want fat Chase anymore. We want skinny Chase.
Well,
So
I was gonna say, do either of you guys? Because I've got some New Year's resolutions. Do any of you guys have some New Year's resolutions?
yeah, I got a few. First off would be Rubbin Tubbs hits 1,000 followers. I think that would be pretty sick in the year. I know we got 363 days to gain about 900 followers. I think that's very doable. Um, Second, I think I want to lose some weight. Get back on my health and gym grind and get a full time job. And unless this takes off, then that works for me too. So and to be happy, man. Just be happy. That's all. That's all I need.
I love it.
Dude, Chase, I told you you should do this 75 hard with me.
You see, that's hard. The easy part is the not drinking part, and I know that's crazy to say, but the hard part for me is just like fucking working out twice a day because I find little motivation, but I really do need to get back in shape. My stretch marks, I'm looking like Jelly Roll's little brother right now, so I gotta be more conscious of what I'm eating. But I need to do it. I know I will. I'll get back on my shit. So
I'm on day one of 75 hard.
yep.
I did
But
4 miles.
wow.
Say what?
Are you doing like the you gotta read, you gotta do all this
Mm-hmm.
shit, like everything? That's good. That's
Yeah,
hard
so I'm
shit.
doing 75 days of uh, two 45-minute workouts, one that has to be outside. So I'm gonna do a run in the mornings. I did 4 miles this morning, and then I'm following a diet, any diet of my choosing, and that's going to be I'm cutting out gluten from my diet. So basically, like no breads, no wheat, no alcohol, and I'm doing a zero added sugar diet. So basically, like if something has added sugar in it, I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
I want it to stay like high in protein, high in like good fats. No candy, obviously. No fast food. No more fucking going to McDonald's during lunchtime and shit like that. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a second workout of either just like strictly body weights, or I'm gonna throw in like some weightlifting as well in the evenings. And then I'm reading every night. It has to be 10 pages, but honestly, I'll probably end up reading more than 10 pages every night. I've already been reading the past like month. I've been on one of John Wooden's books, which later in this, I'm going to get to something. I got to show you something, Chase, that you'll really appreciate that I got
All
for
right.
Christmas.
Sounds
And
good.
then drinking a gallon of water a day. That's all I'm drinking. No alcohol.
Yeah, I'm trying not to drink this entire month, but I did bad yesterday. So we're gonna start January
Mm.
2nd. Yesterday was a quite the day for the boys. So
Luis, what about you? You got some New Year's resolutions?
I haven't made any like official ones, but I think like just making them right now on the spot. I think I was already doing like a pretty decent job of like going to the gym and like eating really healthy, especially in the summer. That's when I was like at my peak, I think, in regards to both of those. And so I don't know, I would just say like probably just going back to both of those, like maybe eating a little bit cleaner. And I'm still probably gonna give myself a cheat day every now and then, but it's just about giving it to myself less often. Maybe like once every I think that's what I'll do. Instead of maybe like a once a week type of cheat day, I'll do maybe once every 2 weeks. And then I don't know, working out. Like I've been doing good working out, but maybe the only thing I want to change is just like up the intensity and length of it.
Mhm.
Just to get
Yeah.
just to milk out as much as I can out of that. I don't know. Maybe I'll change it from like hour long to hour and a half. I was doing that in the summer and it was awesome. And then I don't know. Maybe I double the time on the stair stepper or double the time on the bags. Yeah, I'm still gonna be drinking, but I'm probably just gonna be drinking only on weekends. So there's
Yeah,
no
that,
chance that
that
you
definitely
can
helps.
stop. Yeah, dude. Here's the thing, dude. Is like Butch Cornbread and I, we have a symbiotic relationship. One cannot live without the other,
Yeah.
and I refuse to kill him. I'm not going to kill him, so he's still going to be there. He's just going to have a better 2024 than his 2023, and that's it. And that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean it's kind
He's
of
not
like
being killed. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead, Chase.
I was just
I'm
saying
not
it's
going to
like that.
euthanize him.
It's like Venom. It's like you got like this little demon inside of you, but it's kind of nice to have. Like you don't want to get rid of it entirely. You kind of want
There's
that.
no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. I will do 75 medium instead of hard,
That's funny.
or yeah, 75 soft. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, but anyways, I feel like
Oh,
I feel yeah. That shit was shit, boys. On that note, I mean, shit. I kind of want to start with the CFP games, and I think we should probably start with. I want to start with Bama, Michigan, because Chase, I want to hear a little bit about your experience at that game, and also I just
okay.
want to get our collective thoughts on it. Because obviously
Yeah.
the ending of the other game was just I mean, both endings were exciting, but one was a little bit more exciting than the other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chase,
Well,
how did it go? Do you even remember the game? Is the first thing I'll ask.
so here's my whole scenario. We got down there around 11, and game was at 2, and then just me and my dad figured, we had these great tickets through the city of Pasadena, and we didn't go to like any pregame festivities or anything. But somehow we ended up sneaking into a VIP event, like just let us walk through. And so
Nice.
I didn't know we were gonna do that. So then, on the way from the where we parked to the Rose Bowl, I slugged like 6 beers just walking there. And then I get to this little tailgate, and it's an open bar. Open bar. I found one of my boys, and he was there.
Fuck.
Yeah, Wyatt was there with his dad, and so he's just fucking feeding me, cranberry vodkas. Just like I had probably about like 6 cranberry vodkas and 3 beers in like like 45 minutes. So I'm walking into the stadium. And the boys are buzzing, bro. I was just hammered. So, but like I do remember the game. I think that was probably the best game I've ever been to. I spent about 30 minutes of the game inside the bathroom just because I had to pee every 10 minutes. But I did get to see overtime. I got to see the entire fourth quarter, and just, you know, that just was incredible being out there. Like the atmosphere, dude. Like Bama, they didn't have as many fans, but those Bama fans are fucking loud. Like,
Roll Tide,
you
Roll
know,
Tide.
yeah, seriously, dude. Like, and seeing like Dixieland Delight, they play Dixieland Delight, and seeing like the fans go crazy like live, and then I don't remember what Michigan's song was. I was really drunk, but they have a song too. They play in the third, fourth quarter. That was cool to see all that.
It was probably Jump Around, right?
It was
No,
probably
no,
Jump
no.
Around.
Mm-mm.
Well,
They have
at
a different
home
one.
they play in the big house. They do Jump
Kinda.
Around. I'm almost positive.
No, it wasn't. It was a
I
different
could have
one.
sworn they maybe even played that last year at the Fiesta Bowl.
I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
But anyways,
But
it wasn't Jump Around. It was something else. But it was just an incredible atmosphere to be at. That was my third Rose Bowl game I've been to, and by far the best. I think Blake Corum just did his thing. You know, if Michigan would have lost, I think it would have been because they beat themselves. It's not like Alabama was performing overwhelmingly. You know, um, I think Milroe had an okay game. He can't really pass the ball well, but he reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson. Just like runs. I don't know. That's my take on
Yeah,
it.
but
But
let's be careful there because he's not Lamar Jackson.
he's just a
yeah,
runner.
dude,
I don't know. We're
I
getting
see what you're
percent
saying.
we're
I
getting-
see what you're
yeah.
saying, but like he's not Lamar Jackson. He has the same tendencies, but to a lesser degree, a much lesser
he
degree.
has the tendencies in regard to like what he wants to do, but
Yeah.
his body can't do it like Lamar can.
Mm-mm.
Like where Jalen Milroe might scramble and get you 6 yards, 7 yards, Lamar Jackson gets you 25 plus.
Yeah.
But anyways, I
Yeah.
digress. I digress, dude. I actually watched that game, like on the flight, like back home, and it was actually funny because like half of the people I was sitting next to on the plane, they were all Georgia fans, and they were all, but they were rooting for Bama. Like they weren't rooting against them either. Like I was like, oh, like you guys probably want Michigan to win then, huh? And they're like, no, no, fuck Michigan. We're trying to have the SEC win. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
figures,
so
because you guys all slob on each other's knobs the first chance you
why
get.
why are Georgia fans on your flight? Where was that from LAX?
Yeah, it was from LAX, and
So what the fuck are the
a lot of
Georgia
them were
people doing on here?
connecting in DFW to get back to Georgia.
I
And I
see.
just happened to be sitting to like the only couple Georgia fans on the flight. Kind of stupid people, by the way, too, because they're like, how are you watching this game right now? And I'm like sitting there, it's on the American app. Like I'm not using like my like cellular data or anything. Like we don't have like service up here. Like you literally can go on the app and you have live TV like when you're flying with American.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're all like huddled
Same
around.
with on Southwest.
They're all
yeah.
huddled around. They're all huddled around like my seat as I'm like holding this phone for all of them. And I was like, so now that I've told you that, though, I was like, why don't you just grab your phone and do it on your phone? Like, and they just like, no one, it never like clicked. They were just like, holy shit, he got the game on. And they all just like huddled up around me. There's three little Georgia kids. Like,
Fucking
it
dude, Southerners, man.
was kind of funny. And then there was one Bama fan. Roll Tide, roll!
God bless the South.
God bless the South. The Crimson
Have you-
Tide takes
have
on
you
the Michigan
seen-
Wolverines
Have you guys seen the video
on
of
CBS. Dude, that's just funny.
the Drewski video where he's like with that one Roll Tide fan? He goes, "I don't care about nothing but the Tide."
I don't care nothing about the Tide. Roll Tide.
Did you see the Michigan players actually use that audio?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
"I don't care about nothing but
Where they're
Tide."
like in the locker room. Roll Tide, roll.
Bama Blitz. Yeah.
Blitz, Bama, blitz. Dude, there was actually one Bama fan who was sitting like the two rows like ahead of me, and his stream was maybe like a couple seconds ahead of mine because the moment they came up with that quarterback draw on like the very last play of the game,
That was not a quarterback draw, bro.
okay. It wasn't a QB draw, but that's what it looked like just because it was raining correctly. Like he didn't follow his guard.
So that was actually going to be my question: was if that play, the snap was messed up. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an RPO, and he was supposed to look out to his running back who was in motion, and the snap was messed up. And honestly, I thought Milroe took off prematurely because he got the ball back and there was nobody around him. He just decided to run directly in front of him.
Yeah, he
had
ran
an
the wrong
open lane
way
and
is
left.
what happened.
Yeah.
What happened was he had the lane, and yes, it was a mix of him just going prematurely because he was going before the guard was even finishing like running his like I guess his little route, and he just did not follow the guard where he was supposed to. What it should have been was he had the lane on the left, and if he would have just taken that correctly, it would have been a touchdown. Like there's nothing that they would have done to stop him because the DB or whoever it was on the left had already ran past him, and there's no way he would have caught him, and he just didn't see that and just kind of went through the middle of them. And yeah, I still think though that it could have been a way better play call. Like you could have drawn up maybe something a little bit better, but I mean at the end of the day, like that's exactly why they lost, just because in those moments with that Michigan D line, like why are you doing that? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot that, I mean, it was a good game, and I think that it was actually the better of the two playoff games. Not to say that the Texas-Washington game wasn't good, but that was a competitive game, dude. And kind of talking a little bit about the Texas-Washington game, that game was, dude, Washington almost sold really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That penalty put him up 15 yards, just stupid mistakes.
Well, also not just kneeling down the football. Like they could have knelt the football down and given the ball back to Texas with 12 seconds left.
Yeah, and then now you might have just lost your running back for the next game.
Yep.
And they gave Texas an extra 25 seconds, which holy shit,
More than that.
they
It
used
was
every
like
bit of it.
50.
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to get the ball with like 18 seconds, and I think they got it with like 52 or something like that. But
Literally everything that needed to go wrong did is what
yeah,
Yeah.
happened, because they should have easily, they were up by what, like I think it was, they were up
13.
by like 13,
Mhm.
and there was a couple drives where I felt they could have, if they would have just stopped playing cute, then and just fucking stuck with what they were doing. They also took the ball out of Penix's hands in the red zone a
Yeah,
couple
stupid.
times when he was on fire. I don't understand why on second and third and medium, like, you're still, like, it's working. Like, you, like, I know you don't want to air it out every single play to not be predictable, but the thing is, their secondary is ass, and your receiving core is one of, if not the best in the nation, and you've been cooking them all game. Like, why are
Yeah.
you taking the
Mm-hmm.
ball out of their hands? But yeah. But going back to the Michigan Bama game though, because I do want to finish up a couple thoughts on that one. I did think that one was more, like,
Competitive, I think.
I know the Texas one went down to the last second, but that's just because it was so many things. But the Bama Michigan game was exactly what I expected, which was just two big boy football teams just trading blows. Because I don't know, like, how, if there was like a fuck ton of lead changes, but at least it felt that
There
way.
was, there was. Oh
Um,
yeah, every possession was a lead change pretty much. Bama
yeah, it was just
Bama was kind of up at like 10, and then Michigan with like the last 5 minutes of the game, they scored 2 times, and they
it
had all
was
that
it was
momentum and going into
mhm.
overtime. They got the ball first, like they set the fucking tone, So
Yeah, it was yeah, I was honestly, like what I just said, like, just like exactly the way I expected that game to go. And I just figured, dude, in Michigan's defense, like, holy shit, bro.
they're
Like,
nuts.
that line, I keep thinking at some point, like, oh, like, 1 week they're gonna play bad, like, it's just bound to happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe against Bama they just play bad and get exposed or something. Nope, they just keep pummeling you, dude. They literally just keep coming. Like, I don't know what you can do to stop that line. Well, now obviously Washington has a really good O line, so we'll see what happens. But we can talk about that later in the episode.
Did you guys watch the clip of Harbaugh's dad and mom speaking after
No,
the game?
Yes, bro. It's
Dude,
so
that's his
cringy.
twin. It was cringy, but that's like his twin.
So cringy.
And
Yeah,
then
the
dad was
comment, I
just
think
like,
it was Barstool that posted it, and it was like, this clip makes everything about Jim Harbaugh make sense. Like, I understand his entire personality after watching this
"Mhm."
clip.
were they all just weirdos?
They're so
Yes.
fucking weird, bro. Like
Yes.
you've seen the shit. You've seen the movie Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
That's like how his parents were. They're just like seem
That's his mom. Yeah,
like
that's his
she seemed
mom.
fake. She seemed like a character. Just like, oh well, congratulations, our son is winning. Like our family has this little tradition where nothing else can go wrong. We have the best fucking family. I'm like, holy
We
shit,
have the best sign stealers in the country.
literally, dude. And the dad looks like Harbaugh, just like 10 years old. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the entire face structure is
Spitting
Harbaugh.
image.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know,
nuts.
dude, but like I gotta put some more respect on Michigan's name. I know they've been the best team, but I was talking shit. I was like, "Fuck the Science Steelers, fuck them, fuck that." Like,
Told you.
and dude, they've been the best team, and
I've been saying they're winning the national. They're gonna, dude.
I said it in July, dude. I've been riding with
Yeah,
them since literally before
did.
the season, just because I
yeah.
knew, I've known, like, we knew what they were coming back with, like the
Dude, they're
talent that they
crazy.
had last year,
The whole team.
the whole team, and then just the fact that another thing too was they had lost, what, like, three, like, how many bowl games in a row? I just figured
Like
one of
like
these,
five or
the one
six,
of
yeah.
you, yeah, one of these years they are gonna have to win one. Like, that can't go on forever. You know,
Mm-mm.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
So then that poses a question. I know I might be getting ahead of myself, but I think they're gonna win. And if they win, do you think Harbaugh stays, or does Harbaugh go pursue an NFL coaching job?
I don't know. I think they win, and I think
Yeah.
that they beat. I think that they beat Washington, and the main reason I think that they beat Washington is because of their defense. They've shown that they have a consistent top 10, top 5 defense in the country. And that's what's been their bread and butter, is that they have been so consistent on both sides of the ball all year long that in order to beat Michigan, you have to force them to make mistakes. And they're such a disciplined football team
They
that they
just
just
don't.
don't, you don't
Yeah.
ever get that opportunity. And
Yeah.
I think that they win, and the way that they lose is if they beat themselves, is if they shoot themselves in the foot, penalties,
Dude, their special teams
or
was atrocious. Atrocious. The
Here's
Really?
one
mistakes.
thing.
Oh, their special teams was
Sorry, go you
horrible.
go first, Chase, about their special teams. I was going to say
They
something
just
else.
sorry, let me cut you off. But what I will say is, they muffed a fucking punt right in the first half, and that led to Alabama going up 7-0, I think. And then with like 30 seconds left in the game, they're about to get the ball back with potentially going to kick a game tying field or a game winning field goal. That guy fucking muffs the punt. And then you got McCarthy at the 1 yard line, and Bama, if they get the safety, they win the game with 25 seconds. You know, so like their special
they
teams
held on to
just
the ball though, right? It was a muff
yeah,
punt, but they held on to it.
they held on to it, but they
At
were
the
going
one.
to take it at the 15. Guy got muffed into their own like the one, and Bama's like thinking, oh shit, like we get this safety, we win this game. But I mean, Corum just kind of pushed through, but then went to overtime. But they almost beat themselves.
Here's
They
yeah, I
making those
want to
mental
say one
mistakes.
thing. I want to say one thing because Cole, you just said how like to beat Michigan, you have to force them to like make mistakes. They're not going to make mistakes when they rush the ball, and I think as good as I think JJ McCarthy can be, I don't think he's anything crazy. Obviously, I do think
Mm-mm.
he's a good quarterback. Like he's a good, decent quarterback playing for like a really good team, right?
I
But
would put him in the top 5, maybe
but you
maybe
Yeah,
top 15.
maybe top 15. Yeah, we're on the same page there. But my point is that's where you would be able to force a mistake is you do exactly how TCU caught them last year. The turnovers they had, I mean, they had a fumble in the red zone, sure. But the other two crucial moments of last year's Fiesta Bowls where TCU was able to like turn it on them was two pick sixes. And it
yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
picking off JJ McCarthy because I don't think he's the best whenever it comes to like what fuck I'm blanking the routes that come backwards like out routes
Yeah.
like towards the sideline like he doesn't have the best timing at like out routes, for example. That's just one that I can think of off the top of my head. And if you can pick him off there, then that's like where you can win the game, because I don't think that he has like the vision that maybe the rest of the top quarterbacks like in the country have. I think I put him like maybe in the same category as Milrow. So what you have to hope is that Corum just has like an okay or bad game, and then you got to hope that JJ makes like a wrong read on one of those out routes or something. Um, yeah,
Well, the other way that you can force that, if you're Washington, is by putting points up on the board. Because the other thing that Michigan has done really well is they've controlled the clock really well all year. If you go back and look at their games, they've been in control over time of possession. So if they're able to control the tempo of the game, they'll be in a good spot. But if Michael Penix can go out there and have a really nice game throwing the ball and put points up on the board, it's going to force Michigan to rely more on the passing game than they are on the run, because they're going to feel like they're on their heels.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where you can catch JJ McCarthy off guard.
Yeah,
So yes, you can defend the middle of the field and force him to throw out towards the sidelines. Or if you're Washington, you can come in with a really solid game plan, which is obviously tough. Like it's a lot easier said than done when you're playing Michigan's defense. But if Penix can come out and drop dimes and run up the score, then it'll force Michigan to throw the ball more. And that's how
mm-hmm.
you can catch him off guard.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that Penix was good, but I'm telling you what, I felt like they've been an underdog in so many of these games, and they've
Mm-hmm.
just somehow found way to win. I don't know. I thought they were going to lose to Texas. I thought they were going to lose to Oregon twice. I thought they were going to lose to Utah. I thought they were going to lose to Oregon State, but they found ways to win. But they win by one possession. So I think no matter who wins, I'm thinking it's going to be Michigan. I think it'll be a one possession game. It's gonna be a great game, but
they just the thing too is like specifically in the Texas game last night, they just were getting so cute with it. Like they were having fun, and like I love that. Like they were playing like they were having fun, but they were getting too cute when the game was still too close. And I feel like if they would have just stuck with what was working on some of these drives, they would have been up fucking 28 plus, in my opinion. Like I never thought for 1 second that game should have been as close as it was and come down to the last play.
yeah,
A little side note. because here's a caveat to what you were just talking about, Cole. Like you had mentioned how are you going to deal with like the Michigan defense? Well, the one thing that would be interesting to me is their defensive line is really good, but Michigan has not played a wide receiver like room as fucking talented as this one. I don't think.
Well,
Like
Marvin Harrison.
yeah, but like a well-rounded wide receiver, like dude, if they were to play like they did last night, dude, they were cracked. And granted, Penix was throwing darts out there, and each one of his throws were on the money. But these dudes were that not only were they getting open, they were snagging shit almost effortlessly. It was just art. It was just
Well,
art.
Texas's secondary is also not the best.
Yes, and I acknowledge that, and I've said that too. But I also think like credit to that wide receiver room because
Absolutely.
they like I don't even know all of their names, but I was watching them. I watched them in the Oregon game. I watched them in this game. I watched them in the other Oregon game before the last one, and like they're just throwing master classes on. And so yeah, Michigan is going to have a much better secondary, but I think because Washington State has a decent enough O line, like they have a pretty good O line. It's not like the best, but it's pretty good.
No, they have one of the
That
best. Oh, dude,
yeah, okay,
they might.
yeah.
Yeah, they.
I was trying to be a little conservative with it.
Them in Michigan, I think do have the best offensive lines in college football.
Yeah, that okay. That's I was playing it conservative, but yes, I agree. Um, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm not gonna make my pick till the end of the episode, but yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted
Did
to
you
just
guys
give them props because those wide receivers were cracked.
did you guys happen to watch any other of the? I know Cole, you were driving. Luis, you guys were traveling. Did you guys watch any of the other bowl games and any of the other NY6s or anything?
Dude, I got to be honest. I wasn't intrigued by any of them.
None of
Like,
them.
God,
Yeah,
the
none of them.
Liberty Oregon game was garbage.
Yeah.
What was the final score of that?
It's like
45 to
50
6.
or yeah. And it's
Oh.
crazy because
And
Liberty just the first possession of the game just drove the field. 2-minute drive, like
Really?
just went down, scored.
It all
everybody
just
was
went downhill from there.
and then they didn't score another fucking point. So
and
Yeah,
then
but none of them-
the
none
other
of them.
games, like I was hoping that Mizzou Ohio State was going to be a good game. I called that. I knew Mizzou was going to win, but that's because Ohio State had everyone opt out and half their team transferred.
Yeah.
And then you have Georgia Florida State. That game was terrible, but I don't think that that's really a good reflection of the type of team that Florida State was all year, because they didn't have their entire team. Like their entire team got opted out, or they were injured.
Yeah. One quick thing about FSU. I think it sucks that the narrative in like the history of this season is always just going to show like that final score, and like people are going to easily like point at that to justify why they were left out. But I do want to recognize that that's a totally different team without all those opt outs, without Jordan Travis getting hurt, even with Rodemaker, like they could have looked much better. But yeah, it just sucks. I honestly feel for them just because even in hindsight, even after seeing them get clapped, I still stand by having them in the playoff. I still stand by it. I think a very healthy Florida State team with Rodemaker, not even with Jordan Travis, that defense could have given Washington some problems if that would have been who they were matched up against. But
Now
it sucks. Their scout team got absolutely pummeled, and that's all everyone's going to remember about it.
Now I don't want to get like my take confused with thinking
doesn't
that
have the worst
Florida.
playoff loss.
That's true, but I will also say this real quick that like Florida State, I think that it would have been a much better game had they had most of their team. I do still think they would have lost. And I still think that they would have lost by maybe 2 scores. But it would have looked at least a little bit more competitive. And the reason why I just wasn't really intrigued by a lot of the matchups this year was because of all the opt-outs and because of the transfer portal. And this goes back to our last conversation about NIL and about the transfer portal. And it's that the transfer portal opens up and it forces these guys who, if you are going to transfer, like you have no choice but to transfer out before bowl games and before the national championship. And it does a disservice to, one, the teams and the coaching staff, but mainly the fan base. Like, we're robbed of seeing our team compete for a championship, a bowl championship. And I don't know, man. I'll talk about Oklahoma for a second. I mean, we don't have to talk about them a bunch, but I'm really high on Jackson Arnold, and I said some things like I thought that he was going to play much better. I still am really high on him, and I think that he is going to be one of the next great Oklahoma quarterbacks. But for me to assume that he was just going to go out there and dominate a team like Arizona, who was really good, was like stupid of me, because I completely looked past everything that went into that. A true freshman, first ever collegiate start, playing a top ranked Arizona team. Like, you can't expect him to come in and torch them. So if we would have had Dylan Gabriel, if he wasn't forced to transfer before bowl season, I think that outcome of that game is wildly different.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like bash Jackson Arnold. I still think that he's gonna be fantastic and develop into an amazing quarterback. But the transfer portal is just, man, it's you work so hard as a football team an entire offseason, in spring training, fall camp, for what? To not show up for your bowl game? I just don't. And this goes for every team out there. It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the portal's has always given and taken, but now it's just like exacerbated on both sides of that spectrum, like so much more than it used to be. And I don't know. I hope at some point they start regulating it. I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon, though, just because all of this is still so new. But who knows?
And you saw that pain in Mike Norvell's eyes in that post game press conference.
Oh my
And
god,
dude,
dude.
he wanted to say it so bad, so I'm going to say it for him. The NCAA and the college football playoff, like, completely fucked him, because, like I said, they were working towards this goal all year long, and they did everything perfect, everything that they were supposed to do, undefeated, win a conference championship in a Power 5 conference, and you're left out. And what message does that send to your athletes? Like, it just shows that none of it matters. So of
Yeah,
course they're going to opt out and not play, because the governing body putting on the bowl games just said it doesn't matter.
yeah,
So why should they care? And then in
yeah,
turn, why should we care?
yeah. Well, that also goes back to like why you probably didn't feel that intrigued by some of these New Year Six matchups, because it's just a domino effect. Like that, them getting like this, like Florida State is one example of it, right? It's probably just like it. Florida State themselves represent like this the issue as a whole, but yeah, it was just like a domino effect, and like now you have people opting out, and that just like takes away the value of like the actual New Year Six, and now people like just don't. I mean, now you're sitting here saying 10 minutes ago that you weren't that even that intrigued in it, and that's exactly what all of this has done. And I think it starts with like the portal and with NIL specifically. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about the 12 team for next year, because I mean it's
Yeah.
not like it's going to change. I mean, are we really going to be focused on the 13th and 14th seed? You know, Arizona Wildcats getting left out. It's like, no. Like, when you have an undefeated team like Florida State, I mean, I guess they probably would have got pummeled by either of those teams, and like just like they got pummeled by Georgia, but they were still ranked. I don't know. They didn't lose a fucking game. They won their conference, and then they got fucked.
Yeah, here's what I say. I think just like you, Cole. Like I don't want anyone to think that because I think I would still have had Florida State in the playoff. I think that they would have won. I think they would have most likely just lost their first matchup there. But I just think they deserve to be there. But I was going to follow that up by saying, so you know how like Washington, Texas, it was a close game at the end, but it didn't feel like it was a close game. Like when you were
Mm-mm.
watching it with your eyes, the score might have been like the gap might have been a little bit bigger if Florida State would have lost to Washington. But I think on like with your eyes, it would have looked closer, in my opinion, because I stand on the fact that I still think to this day Florida State is a better team than Texas. As close as that game was, it literally took Washington selling to even get to that point. And not even selling, but just like all these like small little things that happened. I mean, there was the fucking kick catch interference and the fucking injured running back that added them and, gave them another 40 seconds. Like it took so many damn things to even get to that point. So I don't think that necessarily means that Texas is outright better than Florida State. I think a fully healthy Florida State, even with Rodemaker, they probably would have lost, but I still think that it would have felt, at least to me watching the game, it would have felt closer. It would have felt more like Alabama, Michigan. But that's just my
Yeah.
opinion. It's not, obviously this isn't fact. I have no way to prove this, but
Well,
it's sad. I really feel for Norvell just because I can't even imagine like all the effort and shit that he put into like the last year and like getting these boys hyped up. You spend every day, at practice together and workouts and shit. And then it all kind of just collapsed within a matter of weeks,
Yeah, they
So-
did get
Well,
a nice pickup over the weekend, though.
we all know why Florida State got left out. Okay, we all know why.
CBS says no to the Florida State Seminoles. Roll Tide roll.
Luis, that's a pretty sick jersey, must I say.
SEC bias.
Yeah, dude. I was almost gonna put like I was telling Chase earlier, Cole. I almost put like a little piece of tape right here and just put Huskies. I was the biggest dude. I was the biggest Husky fan last night, like shamelessly. I don't even care. I mean, there's no way that that game should have even gotten that close, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, Chase, here.
Yep.
While it's on my mind, I'm gonna show you what I got for Christmas. All right. So apparently my dad has been saving this for 20 years.
Mhm.
20 years.
You're very blurry, but I'm going to pretend I could see it very clear.
Can you see me?
You're so blurry. Can you see him, Luis?
Yeah, I can see him.
He's super blurry on my screen. Looks like a poster. You have to send me a picture of that. Is that wooden?
Is that Vladimir Putin?
It is. Yeah. So it is. There's 3 of them, but it's from December 20th, 2003. The court dedication ceremony. So
Nice.
they played Michigan State on this day, and this was the day that they renamed the court in Pauley Pavilion to Nell and John Wooden Court.
That's sick.
And the only people that have these are people that had tickets and got into the game. And I have 3 of these posters now, along with 3 unused tickets to the game.
What are you going to do with them? Just keep them, pass them on to the little booers and stuff? Or?
No, I'm gonna. Well, yes, but I'm gonna frame this, and I'm gonna frame one of the tickets down beneath it.
That'd be cool. Dude, I finally found when everything in my house got like remodeled. I lost a bunch of shit, and I forgot where I put it. I finally found my you know how I have that framed Kobe jersey? I lost the authentication thing that like proves it's legit, and I fucking finally found that thing because it costs.
Well,
like
that's easy to
$200.
replace. You can get that replaced anyways.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And then I found my one of my old friends gave me a Kobe like the day he retired. Like every fan got like a retirement letter.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that too. That was pretty sick. So if I'm ever homeless or if I need some money, I might sell that. Get out of the streets.
My dad also gave me a book. It's one of Kareem's books, and on the inside of it, it's autographed by Kareem and John Wooden.
Nice.
And my dumbass. I hope my dad is listening right now because it was a dumb move by him. Richard Boomer! He put as a bookmarker in the book an autographed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Lakers card, tops, without a case on it. And I looked at him and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me right now, Dad.
The captain.
You've got to be.
The
You were
captain.
using this as a bookmark."
That's how you know the Booer's got just Booer money, bro. He does what he wants. Richard is the man. He said, "Fuck you, Captain Kareem. I don't want your shit."
Oh,
I think
gosh.
that Wooden's book was like forward by Kareem. I think is that the one you're talking about?
Which one?
Like Kareem was like the forward, or I'm not sure. I don't read much, but I don't know the word for it. But he's
No. It's Kareem's book. Here, I'll show you. I'll go grab it. You guys can continue talking. I'll go grab it.
Okay. I feel like we're at a Barnes and Nobles right now.
I kind of want to bash on Alabama and Texas at some point.
Fuck them.
Dude, especially Texas, bro. I know that they went what was their record, 12-2?
I don't think that they belonged in there. I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, I know they went 12-2. I acknowledge they won a Power 5 championship and they had a very good win in Tuscaloosa and their resume said this and that and stuff. But what did I say? I said Texas cannot beat teams that don't sell.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the moment Washington started selling and took a page out of the K-State selling book, they almost came back into it. So looks like Cole is back to show us the
Kareem.
And then on the inside, he had this.
Yeah, no, you need to frame that shit. That card's worth a lot of money.
But it's already, like, the edges are already flaring.
But I mean, it's still autographed by arguably one of the top basketball players of all time, Kareem.
Yeah.
Kareem, if
No
you're
doubt.
listening, I hope your hips recovered. I heard you took a fall at a concert a couple weeks ago. So,
Did he really?
hey, broke his fucking hip
Holy crap.
at a concert.
Rest in
2 weeks
peace.
ago. Yeah, I mean, fuck, that dude's old as fuck. Kareem's kind of a dick, not gonna lie. I don't know. He signed a foam finger for me one time. I'm trying to think of what the fucking Michigan song was. I'm gonna look up their game day playlist.
it's all just gonna be jump around.
No, I'm telling you, it wasn't Jump Around.
Jump around. Cole, what did you think of
It
the
probably wasn't. I feel like Chase would have remembered if it was Jump Around. But
Cole, what did you think of the Texas Longhorns performance? I was just touching on it a little bit on my opinion on Texas as a team.
Oh,
and
I know
how
what it
thought,
was.
are you asking me, Luis?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I mean, I think Texas is a good football team, but I mean, I've said it all year. I felt like they were overrated. I still think Oklahoma's a better football team. I think that if Oklahoma didn't shoot themselves in the foot, they'd be playing for a national championship right now.
I think Oklahoma and Texas were probably just equally as good as one another. Is like my take on it. I think either one of them could have beat each other in a rematch. I think Oklahoma could have gone 2-0 against them. Texas could have maybe made it 1-1. But I don't know, dude. I just feel like I've probably sounded like a hater all year long on Texas and just like how, like I probably sound biased. But it was just they managed to just get in like the best scenarios ever, like the most favorable scenarios that they could hope for. And it happened so many times every week. It happened against Houston. It happened against TCU. It happened against K-State.
The crazy thing, too, is that playing Washington was also best case scenario for them.
Best matchup they could have had.
And you look at, like, Texas is like, oh, like, we're in the college football playoff now, this and that. Like, dude, look back at the teams that Oklahoma had to play in the college football playoff. They had to play Georgia, who won the Natty that year. And honestly, Oklahoma should have won in that Rose Bowl game, and it was all because of Lincoln Riley.
Alabama
Then they had to
won that
play.
year.
Then they had to play. Oh, sorry. Then they had to play Bama, who was generational with Tua. And then they
Joe
had to
Burrow.
play. Then they had to play LSU, who was the greatest college football team of all time.
Didn't Oklahoma also play Deshaun Watson's Clemson the first time they went?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
those
everyone wants to talk about how like Oklahoma gets blown out, like they've gotten blown out in the playoff like multiple times. Well, look at who they fucking played.
Yeah.
Generational Deshaun Watson. They should have beat Georgia. Then they played Tua. Then they played Joe Burrow. Like, what did you expect?
It all comes, dude. It all just comes down to like what year it is and who what version of each one of these teams is which. Like, if that makes sense, because like last year, you had Georgia, who's just by far better than everyone else. But I think like this year's TCU team, or sorry, last year's TCU team, the 2022 one that got blown out, I think they would have had a decent chance, like at winning in the Natty. Obviously, more than Georgia if they were to come up against the same Michigan team that they're playing last year, maybe the Washington team, maybe Texas, like these types of teams. And then there's other years like you got Joe Burrow's LSU in there. You got Baker Mayfield's Oklahoma. You got fucking the Jake Fromm Georgia team who is stacked with talent. Fucking like it's just I don't know. I don't know if this year's the field was just a little bit weaker than it usually is.
I think it was a weaker year of college football, and I think that Michigan is standing alone right now.
Yeah, well, shit, we'll see. You know, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, do you?
I do, and here's the thing: is I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins, because Chase touched on it. They've been in close games all year long, and they've somehow found a way to win all of them. Like, they're not a bad team; they're a good football team, and they have one of the best offensive lines in football.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if Washington wins, but I still think Michigan's gonna win.
I got a question. Do you guys think, because we're just talking about generational teams like that have gone to the playoff, like Deshaun Watson's Clemson, Trevor Lawrence's Clemson, Tua's Alabama, etc. As good as I think Washington is, I wouldn't put them in that category. But I wanted to ask if you guys would.
No,
No.
absolutely
As good
not.
as they look.
No,
Dude,
Okay.
I mean, because that LSU team was blowing teams out the entire season,
Yeah.
and they blew out their opponent in the final. It's like, no. Hey, you know what? If you would have asked me 13 weeks ago, I would have agreed with college game day. Where it's like, is this Colorado Buffalo team's better than 2019 LSU? Did you see that graphic?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
there was a graphic that said that.
That said, who wins, 2019 LSU or 2023 Colorado Buffaloes?
LSU by literally, and I don't mean to. This is not exaggeration. LSU by literally 100.
Did Colorado look like shit against UCLA?
Colorado looked good against anyone that was bad.
College Game Day put that up.
Yes, or ESPN posted it.
Maybe it was Fox.
I'll show. I'm gonna show you guys. All right, and I found our Michigan Game Day song.
That's the Michigan Game Day song, dude. That's everyone's Game Day song.
Dude, they played it in, I don't know. Then they played Dixieland
Mr.
Delight for
Brightside?
Alabama.
That's
I
like
love
everyone's
Mr.
tailgate song.
Dude, it
Huh?
just fires me up.
Chase, that was Mr. Brightside.
I know that was a song they played. I was just really fucking
Oh.
drunk.
I thought you said no,
singing.
not Mr. Brightside. I was like, yes, that was Mr. Brightside that you just
No,
put
no,
on.
No,
I was like, what?
Dude, I was so fucked up yesterday at the game. Oh my god, my dad was getting so mad.
Yeah, it's Oh well, shit, boys. What we want
Should we
to?
do a little quick natty preview?
Yeah.
Lock in our official picks. I haven't even made mine.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
I think everyone knows I'm going Michigan.
All right, well, tell me why.
I've said
gonna
why.
hand
I
off?
think that they're no, not because of. I actually think that he's going to be the least
Important
most
player.
important piece on the field. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that for one, Michigan's defense is just they're dominant. They're a disciplined football team, and then, I mean, you look back at past champions, and what do all of them have in common? They're disciplined, they're strong, and they have good defenses. And that is exactly what Michigan is. Not to say that Washington isn't that as well, but Washington has made more mistakes. They've been in far more closer games because they've made mistakes. And I don't think you can make mistakes against Michigan. You can't. You have to be the one forcing them to make mistakes. Otherwise, you're going to lose. I'll add this because you touched on Rome Odunze. I think that if Washington can get Rome involved early on in the first half, unlike Ohio State did with Marvin Harrison, because Marvin Harrison didn't start popping off until the second half of that game. And we all saw what happened in the second half of that Michigan-Ohio State game. If Michael Penix can somehow find a way to involve Rome Odunze in a very, very heavy way in the first half, I think that they have a shot. But I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than Rome Odunze, and they shut Marvin Harrison down. Yeah, they're just a disciplined team. They don't make mistakes. They're strong.
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Is like obviously,
And they have Washington signs.
Fuck it, yeah. Why not?
Bingo.
True. I actually fucking saw what's his name, the sign stealer,
Jim.
Connor Stallions.
No, Connor Stallions. Yeah, I actually saw him out my window. He was outside on the street on my window. He was trying to steal my shit too. I was looking for Social Security.
NCAA 14?
No, he was looking for my green card number. But
dude, wait, that's something we should. Do you think that we get an NCAA 14 commercial or trailer?
Oh my
24.
god!
Is that what you mean?
Well, did you say that it would be released during the Natty or just like the CFP games?
Dude, I think it might be. I think we might get a trailer in the Natty.
Do you think it's like that far along though, like in post development shit?
It's supposed to come out in like 5 months.
I know it's supposed to come out this summer, but like, you actually
dude, we got a
think they're gonna
GTA
drop
6
it?
trailer that's not supposed to come out for 2 years.
Shit, that's a good point. Maybe they have just been waiting for it. I can't tell you how excited I am for that, dude. Like that is like the one video game I think that everyone can just universally agree on. Anyone that's like at least mildly into college football, that I would pay like double for it. Like as expensive as shit is now, like I would pay double the price for it if I had to. Maybe triple.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Luis. Continue your
statement. I was just going to say, depending on how good it actually ends up being, but even then, go ahead.
Well, since you guys were asking, getting back on track, I do believe the Michigan Wolverines will win the national title. I believe that the greatest quarterback in Michigan history, J.J. McCarthy, will if he doesn't turn the ball over, they don't make mental mistakes, and if Corum just plays like Blake Corum, that D-line is just so unstoppable. Okay.
Dude, yeah, didn't he not, he not only called him that, didn't he just call him the greatest college quarterback ever?
He's not even the greatest in the 2023.
But he did say that, didn't he?
Fucking white idiot. Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the dudes.
I get that you're trying to gas up your guy, but like, come on, brother. Like,
God damn it.
His name, yeah, dude. JJ McCarthy is a long way away from Joe Burrow, and like,
no.
And it might not even be him, but that's just like an example of someone who could be one of the
he
best.
played an okay game. The one thing I will say is when they had that 4th and 2, that was a huge conversion because if they don't get that 4th and 2, the game's over. So that was a nice play, but the dude was wide fucking open. I'm making that throw all day. So,
well, Chase, you're the only one here that's seen him actually play in person. So, like, what is your genuine?
What are you talking about?
Seeing him
okay.
My eyes were fuzzy all game.
This year. You're the only one to see him play in person this year. So, like, what is your actual take? Like, how good do you think J.J. McCarthy could be?
Well, if you take back that interception, the first play of the game they called back, I mean, he didn't even play that great of a game. He had a huge 4th and 2 conversion. But I think that Blake Corum and that run game is really what kept him in the game. Corum, I think he had 2 touchdowns. Maybe McCarthy's making nice passes. He was like pretty accurate. I think he was like 21 of 20 something. He was okay, but he didn't have any crazy stats. I mean, he did lead a game tying drive. I will give him props for that. But Corum, I think, was the reason they won that game, and the fact that their line just really stepped it up in the second half. So I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. But I'll tell you what, I mean, they're winning games with him. So, maybe the record is reflecting. They're saying that maybe it's all him, but I think that team just as a whole is so damn good and so well rounded.
I think Washington without Michael Penix Jr. is so like not necessarily a bad team, but not nearly as good as what they are
Yeah,
without him. And I think with JJ McCarthy, it's kind of the opposite. I think Michigan is just a much better team, and JJ McCarthy just happens to be the quarterback for that team. Because
true.
even going back to last year when we were all at the Fiesta Bowl, I just still see the same tendencies with him, dude. I just don't think he's like super accurate, like with all of his balls, especially if it's like an out route. The deep ball is like sometimes there, but it also just depends on like how much separation the wide receiver is getting. His pocket presence is like I really don't think it's like that like all that good either. I think Michael Penix's pocket presence and like his elusiveness and just his awareness, like of just like knowing exactly when he's about to just skirt out of the way. I don't think JJ McCarthy has any of that. So I mean, I think he's benefited a lot from having a really good O line. I think he benefits from having Blake Corum in the backfield with him. I think I was going to be inclined to pick Washington just because of how fucking good they looked, and I think if they don't fuck around, they can probably beat anybody. Like if they don't get too cute. But I have been riding with the Wolverines forever now. I've been riding with them since like fucking July. I've been this the result that I wanted was them coming back and I guess finding a little bit of redemption after the last couple of years. So I think officially I'm gonna pick the Wolverines.
Well, let me just say this. JJ McCarthy is mid. But the Wolverines are still going to be your national champions.
Whose voice is that?
I think it's Jalen Milroe. He's just salty still. He said, "Fuck JJ McCarthy and fuck the Wolverines." Yeah, where's your Heisman now?
Where's
You
your
little
Where's
fool.
your Heisman, mate?
You little fool.
Fight me at 185. All you do what I say.
Should it have been Michael Penix, the Heisman?
That's a good question.
Debate time.
I
Dude,
think I'm
probably.
still going. I think I'm still going with Jaden Daniels. And I went back and forth with it last night. I was hopping on the bandwagon. I was like, yeah, dude, it should have been Penix. They should have just given the Heisman to Penix. But then I went back and looked again at Jaden Daniels' stats, and that dude, I think he just elevated his team. I mean, the same thing can be said for Washington because Michael Penix elevates the fuck out of Washington. Without him, they don't look nearly as good as they are. But I don't know. Kind of split it either way.
I just think that I feel like your team's performance, like it shouldn't be the deciding factor. But when you have a Heisman race that was as close as it was this year, mainly between Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels, I feel like you got to look at like what Penix has done for his team. They're playing for a national championship. And while I don't think that like your team's performance should be the end all be all if you win the Heisman, I do think it warrants some consideration because without Michael Penix, they're not playing in the playoff. They might not even be playing for a New Year's Six.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be. There's no chance.
They would have been back in the Alamo Bowl.
And you can say the same thing about Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels got his team to a mid-tier bowl game. So like there's some I think after reflecting on it a little bit more and seeing how the playoff has unfolded, I think Michael Penix did deserve it.
Yeah, dude, man. That dude was like he was in cheat code mode last night.
I'm also not upset. I'm also not upset that Jaden Daniels won. Like I'm not losing sleep over it. But I do think that Michael Penix deserved it.
Yeah, it could have been him. I know Texas' secondary is ass, but he was like it was like watching a video game last night, like just the way he was like slinging that shit. And like the couple times they did get close to sacking him, he would just skirt out of the way and he already knows exactly where the target is and it's already gone. I also love his throwing motion, dude. Like I don't know what
Yeah,
it is. Maybe it's that he's a lefty, but I loved it. I love it
Chase knows all about that.
Hefty
because he's a
lefty.
lefty, huh?
I'm the hefty lefty.
The hefty lefty.
Well, boys, since we already know who was the Heisman this year, I'm going to give my way early 2024 Heisman pick right now.
Ooh.
I think
Josh
that
Hoover.
maybe. Nope. There's a boy in LA that's pretty damn good.
Oh God.
Now you may be thinking, oh, Miller Moss. Oh, maybe Will Howard. No. It's
Don't say
always been
Ethan Garbers.
Ethan Garbers. It has always been Ethan Garbers. He's got that chip on his shoulder. He's coming back for his senior year. He is going to take the fuck over, dominate the Pac-12, or excuse me, no more Pac-12, Big Ten. He's gonna do his thing. I got Garbers.
Are you making jokes? Like I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Garbers?
You're really being serious.
No, but
Okay.
what I like to see what I like to see him do well. Yes. So let's just not embarrass. Let's not go. Honestly, let's go 9-3. Let's do something. Make a name.
Dude, I really couldn't tell you who I think is going to win the Heisman next year.
What the fuck was that?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Dude, yeah, I really couldn't tell you who I think is going to win that shit this far out. I couldn't even tell you who I think is going to the playoff.
Yeah.
Other than like the usual suspects, like the
Bama.
Georgias and Bamas.
Well,
and,
that's I think we should save playoff because we got to take into consideration it's going to be a 12 team this year. This year.
you're right.
Yeah. Wait. So next week our episode is going to be recapping the national championship and looking forward to the new season, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. It's been fun.
Maybe look a little bit at some basketball. I know March Madness will come up in a couple months. But anyways, Cole, would you say you wanted to give your 12 just a quick 12 teams that you think are going to make it?
No. I'm saying we need to save that because it's going to take a little bit more time to
Thoughts behind
a little
it.
more thought because we got to pick 12 teams for a playoff next year.
There is one team I know for a fact will be in there though. We're coming back, baby. Josh Hoover or House Haney, depending on who starts. We're going to come back, motherfuckers, and we're going to make a run at the Big 12 title. And who knows, maybe we don't even win the Big 12 and just get in as the Big 12 runner-up at the 11th seed or some shit. We're coming back, though. And we're coming back to remain the only school from Texas that has a playoff win. Despite only signing one 5-star in our entire history.
Who didn't even stay here.
Who didn't even finish his career at TCU. He left after 1.5 years. Zach Evans, fuck you, by the way. Piece of trash. Yeah. Next year you're gonna see. Next year you're gonna see, bro. We'll be back. Locking in at the number 9 seed.
Hey, Zach Evans.
What even happened to him? Is he still at Ole Miss?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, who
Fuck
gives a
that
shit?
guy.
Fucking irrelevant.
Tub time. Tub time.
Tub time.
Tubby
Tub
time. All right, who's going first?
Tub time. I'll go first. My tub was going out to California for New Year's. Going out to see you guys. Got to see Chase for a little bit. A little upset that he didn't stay out there with us. But Luis, I was always more excited to see you anyways.
That's sweet. Hey, next time you need AAA auto insurance, don't fucking call me, bro. Get that shit yourself.
I didn't even need it from you. I had it.
Yeah.
Wait, Chase, did I tell you my keys weren't even in the car?
Bro, get your bands up and get your own insurance.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this crap.
I mean, I have my own insurance. I had to use my mom's AAA. Oh well, it is what it is. Yeah, shout out Rhonda. But no, Tub was going out spending New Year's with all you guys, seeing all the college friends. Good little TCU reunion out here. Dude, New Year's was fun too. That was fun.
Dude, I was I was going through it, bro.
I know you were. I know you were.
I was having the time of my life though. Like I was like in that Butch was in that perfect like state where it's not too much, not too little, just lost in the sauce, just lost in the moment. Yeah, that shit was fun.
Yeah. That was my tub. Going out and seeing
Yeah.
everybody. Little TCU reunion. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Well, I feel like we're all gonna have the same tubs, but yeah, I'll go next. It's just same here, bro. Like I loved going out to California. I loved hanging out with Chase and his dogs. One of his dogs is racist.
Arlie.
Is racist,
Oh yeah,
unfortunately.
Brew hates you. Sorry.
Dude, yeah, that thing. I'm convinced that it's racist. I literally, I told Tyler, I was like, what are you doing? What are you teaching this thing? It's kind of racist. She's like, no, Brew barks at everyone. I was like, no, I know the difference between just hatred in someone's eyes and just being, scared of everyone. But yeah, leading off of that, yeah, I loved hanging out in California. Loved seeing everybody again. It was good to get the little TCU reunion going again. I'm trying to see if I'm missing something, but I don't think so. I think it was just another successful, another successful New Year's in the books. Yeah, I got to see J-Lo again. I guess that was another interesting character to have on New Year's. But yeah, another year in the books.
I guess I'll end the show. Okay, so, well, my tub of the week. It's very nice to see my Hispanic brother from Texas, Luis. Thanks for hanging out with me. Pleasure having you. Always good to hang out with you. We got a little fucked up one night, and I ended up at some Mexican place with Luis, and I was just like, I don't know, it's pretty fucking cool. I knew it was a legit Mexican place because I was the only white person in there, and that was pretty cool. It's good to hang out with Luis. Got to see Cole for like all of 45 minutes. I wish Cole was in a better mood, but it's cool. I got to see him. I probably won't see him for another 6 months, but pleasure.
I was in a good mood. I was in a great mood.
Maybe we'll catch you next time.
You were just annoying.
Annoying, whatever. If that's what you want to call it, that's fine. But it's good. And then I got to go fucking see my Wolverines dominate, and got sauce yesterday, and another week in the books. New year, new me. Gonna get skinny. I'm looking forward to it.
I have a question.
Another thing, real quick. Another tub. Hey, another tub. Our good friend Connor announced he's coming back. I believe in July for
June 6th.
International Fight Week. And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185.
Y'all do what y'all fucking told.
So it's good to finally get an announcement that the King is coming back for a comeback fight. All right, you were about to say something, Chase.
Y'all do what
No,
y'all fucking
I was
told.
going to say, Chase, have you stayed true to no gambling, or at midnight on January 1st, did you gamble?
No comment.
Yep, I knew it. You're gambling again.
No comment.
You're gambling with Mike's money, aren't you?
We had a good day yesterday.
Mike doesn't have any more money. I took it all.
Luis took all his $50 in fucking fantasy football.
I took his last $50.
Dude, the
Absolutely.
funny
Yeah,
shit though is
shout out Luis
him.
for winning the fantasy league. Good job, buddy.
my dad was projected like 100 less points, and he's like, "It's all right. I still have 3 players." I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? You're not going to
Like,
put
Mike,
up
you're
190."
fucked, dude. You're fucked, Mike.
Dude, Mike
Yeah.
fucked, bro. I got a super team, bro. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
well,
Dude,
hey,
that was
next
like
year-
this is like the
Go ahead,
one
sorry.
I was gonna say. This is the 1 year where everyone that I drafted just stayed healthy. I think that's probably just what it came
Dude,
down
your
to.
team was dominant.
Because there were some
Just
other
dominant.
teams that, like, you guys had good teams that you drafted. It was just people would get hurt or shit would happen, and
Yeah.
like McCaffrey stayed healthy, Lamar stayed healthy. Everyone that I drafted stayed healthy, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think next year we do a rub and tub league and invite, all of our guests we've had this year. And
Dude,
I think
yeah, that'd be
really
sick.
Cool.
That'd be
Get
fun.
like a 10-man team. Invite, your Texas boys. Invite, Braden and Parker.
Hunter.
We need to rig it though. Like we need to make it like a big pot, and then rig it to where one of us 3 wins, so we could just use all the money for Rub and Tub's expenses.
Yeah.
So then it's just paying for itself.
That'd be
Get
sweet.
Get the merch. Yeah, I'll be commissioner. And I'll just
$1,000 pot.
rig the settings.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
All right. Rub and Tubs 2024 league coming soon.
Yeah, hey, you might not know us now.
I'm
2024
telling
is
you,
the year, the
1K.
year of the tub time.
1K is the goal. You heard it here first. January 2nd, 3:44 Pacific Standard Time. We are going to get 1,000 followers by the end of the year. Mark it. Clip it.
I think it'll be before
Post it.
that.
Clip it. Clip it. Clip it. Clip it. 1K before next year.
How about 10?
Let's do it.
It's tub time.
Fuck
man.
it.
It's the tub
10K.
takeover.
10K.
We'll see what happens, but I think
it takes
we'll be
one
fine.
video. It takes one video.
See, yeah, season 2 of Rubbin' Tubs is about to be lit.
Let's do it. By the way, even though college football is stopping, the tub train does not stop here.
Oh,
We're
we
going
don't
to keep
take
it going.
breaks.
We're going to be talking a little bit more about life, tell some funny stories. We're going to talk a little college basketball.
NFL
We're diverse over
playoffs.
here. All right? We don't just talk about football. We are idiots in every single major professional sport there is. We love it all. All right? And we're going to be rubbing and tubbing all 2024.
Peace and love. Happy 2024. Thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate you.
Happy
God
New
bless.
Year's, bitches.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. Let's go.